something came out of Extra Life.
Yeah,
what came out of it?
The Quiet Man.
It made me so happy.
It made me so angry.
Made me mad.
I
was just frustrated by it.
Here's
the pros
why
outweigh the cons.
It made me so happy because we've all played a million bad games before.
God, have we ever.
We've forgotten so many bad games. We played so many.
I sure
of them.
have.
This one was a special kind of terrible, the likes of which, like, as far as big publisher games that they put out, Square Enix behind it, what else can you think of, like, in the history of games that has been this level? Like, Two Human was a train wreck, and Daikatana is one of those notorious ones. But that's what I'm saying is, like, this is in the, like, top train wreck games of all time. I think.
I would, I mean, yes, in the sense that it is a publisher of some stature.
Exactly.
Certainly putting this out. I mean, it's, if you were probably to ask Square Enix even leading up to the release of this game, it probably wouldn't have even been in the top 5 things they were promoting this year. But nonetheless, they put that fucking thing out.
Yeah.
So here's where I think I would draw a distinction here. It seems to me, and I don't want to knock too hard the people who worked on this game.
Of course.
But what I will knock is some of their decisions and their vision. And I think, like, from the sense I was getting, I think they might have nailed their vision, and that's what kind of makes me a little mad.
I think they probably planned on kind of more a cohesive idea because it was inconsistent.
No. This is not Daikatana where, like, you're running into a thing where it's like, don't forget your buddy Superfly, and you got to, like, wait at doors and stuff like that, or there are bugs.
Right.
There are bugs.
Well, there are bugs. Too.
You're saying this seems earnest.
I'm not saying this is, what's the other one you brought up?
Too Human.
This isn't Too Human where the combat feels clunky a bit, and then, like, the menus are good. You got 5 minutes. This is a little closer to 2-minute Valkyrie scene. This is an intentional watching of a 4-minute cutscene in a car with no audio.
That was the best.
Where they were like, this is good.
H. John Benjamin just like sitting there.
This is good.
Like, if I may clarify that point somewhat, I do agree in the sense that the cutscene direction and the way that game is portrayed, at least in the long stretches where you are doing nothing in it, that definitely seems like an intentional thing that they directed it and put it together the way they wanted. The part where you play it, though, I'm going to say they achieved maybe 15% of what presumably that was supposed to be, because that shit is unfucking playable.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, the whole goal was like, let's make it immersive. Like, you're getting in the head of this dude, but it's like he clearly understands what people are saying, and we do not. There are no subtitles. He's talking back to people clearly in like full sentences. He's signing at people. We should understand that. Yeah. It makes no sense that it's not. And then there are also scenes that have other people that he's not even around for, like that are completely silent.
Why can't we hear
not
this
even
whole
there?
thing they're doing where they're putting out this patch after the fact that will let you replay the game? Like, this is some bad carny shit. Like, this is some, like, one, you're trying to extend the life of this thing, which does not have very much life to begin with.
Yeah.
2, no one gives a shit. Because if you have played that game once, the very idea that anyone would want to play it again
I don't know, man.
is borderline fucking insulting.
I want to look at a few clips on YouTube of the cutscenes. I don't want to touch them.
3 hours of that again?
Thing is, I think before it came out, a lot of people were thinking like, is this going to be like a bouncer thing, right? And like, no, because the bouncer, while it is remembered for being bad, it's more because it was early on in the PS2 life cycle. It was Square Enix. People had high hopes for the bouncer.
It was short.
And it wanted to be short and kind of ho-hum. Like the actual brawling and stuff was not great.
Like, it's not awful, but it is also not a particularly memorable game on its own merits.
Exactly. It's just, it didn't live up to the lofty expectations. This one, the combat is straight up garbage.
Yeah.
So the combat seems like it was not designed very well. I think the
I'm just like,
that is some understatement.
This is my professional analysis.
It's like you just. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm being the teacher
it's
who's
like you like describing the scene of a horrific accident. You're like, looks like the cars wanted to stop, but they couldn't.
Something unfortunate might have happened here.
This feels like a misadventure.
So yeah, I think but the part that makes me angry the most.
Yeah.
The most.
What's that?
And I kind of went into is the part where they expected me to want to sit there through all of this and expected me to be like, amazing.
You hooked me.
Amazing.
Oh, it's pretentious. But it is pretentious in a way that big budget games like rarely even try to be anymore. Like it is on some fucking sniffing its own ass shit that I have never seen in a very long time.
We had 12 hours to kill. And I still think that game abused my time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I still think that game took advantage of my time. When we had to program out for 12 hours and be like, well, we got to fill 12 hours. I hope this game is long. And I still feel like that game took advantage of my time in a way that was like, oh, and he'll want to do it again.
But don't you understand the beauty that came from it, where the five of us were just
loved it.
laughing our butts off?
I
no
got
butts
how
now.
bad it was pretty quick, though. I could have done without the 15-minute long, completely silent cutscenes that didn't even have anything visually interesting. It's literally two people sitting in a car having a conversation that I could not hear.
Agreed, and no one else should play this. We did it. But the fact that we were together was a fun thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I
That felt-
appreciate
that
the
was
memories
great.
of times
Yeah.
with my friends.
Totally.
I
That
do
was
not
the best
appreciate the let's just say flat out fucking racist portrayal of New York in that game. I do not appreciate it's just completely not so much fumbled as you threw the ball the opposite way. Fucking attempts at portray representation of any of that.
That's unfair. I would say they brought a tennis ball to a football game, and then we're like, "What? This is what?"
Yeah,
this is what works?
they brought a knife to a bazooka fight.
So there were parts of it where it's like, okay, and I'm kind of with Abby on within 2 seconds, you knew that this is not going to do deaf culture any favors.
no.
This is not going to do
blatantly racist.
This is not going to do New York any favors. This is no, this is lost all.
This is not
cred.
going to do these same 4 actors who keep appearing as both gangsters and cops over and over again. It's not going to do their careers any
Not going
favors.
to do the weed man any favors, or mom, wife, or cop dad.
It's not going to do maybe mental illness or possibly any kind of weird
All that went out the
relationships
window.
grief
with family.
and trauma.
Yeah, grief and trauma.
If you're in the crow mask industry, your business is fucked now. No one's going to want
It's a
those.
bad look.
paper bag delivery services.
I feel like I saw an interview with the main dude, the creative director or whatever he was, saying well, I think if we can just change anything for the better, if even one person, comes away from this with a positive message or whatever, then we've changed the world for the better.
one too many.
Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but the idea that did they think they were doing a good thing with this game?
That's
They clearly
what's
thought
crazy.
something.
They thought there was a positive message in there.
Yeah, you'd have to look up the exact quote, but it was the director.
It's
or something
weird
being
that message got lost somehow.
Yeah, I
in all
don't
of
know.
that.
Yeah.
Not sure
That
why that
game
would
has
be.
a
I didn't hear the message.
That
or
game
whatever
has
you
a
said.
scene where a guy is wrestling with another guy with a gun, and then the kid and his mom run up, and the kid's like, "Yo, hey, what's
He's
up?"
waving at him like, "Hey,
Waving.
gun guy."
And that is the setting off point for all of
And then
this.
the guy just shoots.
Shoots mom wife.
He's like, "Oh, hey, kid."
Joking, the room comparisons are very obvious and very, what they are. But the thing that it shares with the room that I think is actually pretty accurate is that it feels like everyone who was involved in or at the very least the core creative people involved in making this have never seen human beings interact with each other. They have no idea how human interaction works. They have never seen two people talk to one another. They have no sense of what an interaction between a person and another person is supposed to be.
They don't know what a good haircut is.
And
It's all
also
bad.
the optics of everything on the screen of okay, this what are you trying you're clearly not trying to tell me anything, but what I can read off this screen right now is this guy just runs around beating the shit out of a bunch of minorities constantly throughout this fake New York City, and this is just kind of weird. Who are you? What is this thing? Until you turn into a supernatural crow.
Yeah.
There's so many questions. I stand by it felt like the most student-ass film thing.
100%.
What the fuck is going on
What
at
the
Square Enix
fuck is
right
going
now?
on there?
No, what is
they
going
dropped
on with them?
Hitman.
They dropped Hitman. And great, look, there's the whole thing around, financials and Square Enix thinking that some games are supposed to make X amount of money and then they don't, and then they don't know, that was an insane number to begin with. But you dumped Hitman. You considered the Tomb Raider games to be not successful enough by the standards you have, and yet you saw fit to put this bullshit out?
It's a weird thing. Oh, gosh. I just think back.
Well, I love when people hit that point where they hit the wall.
I'm just thinking back to
is this somebody at Square Enix's nephew who was just hey, I have this idea for a game? And it's yeah, all right.
The thugs are
like
so
it's so
the
garbage.
cliche. Remember when you do actually hear them talk? It's worse than when you don't hear them talk.
This makes Ride to Hell Retribution look like Red Dead Redemption.
Yep.
What's your favorite bad part?
Hey, are you stupid or very stupid?
Yeah, like it's just stupid bet. Like I love when that boss fight and he's walking around like all limpy, like fast, like
Oh,
the
that weird
zombie.
walk. Yeah, the boss that we thought was the final boss fight. And we had to play
Yeah,
for an hour and a half.
Where Dan had to make him charge like 4 times.
That was real
You had to
good.
do the bald bull thing.
Yeah, the repeated roundhouse kicks.
Oh, so
the
good.
parts where the mom wife stares at the camera and makes a wink and then a kissy face at you.
Crosses her eyes.
The part where we found the extra secret ending in the fucking data files, and it
right.
was even more disappointing and fucked up than you would have thought.
Yeah, that's good.
Cop Dad.
Cop Dad.
Cop Dad's great.
What in the absolute fuck?
The part where in the beginning, like Abby mentioned, within 30 seconds, actually there's that part. There's the hot dog cart first. And
Yeah.
The sterile Sesame Street set hot dog cart. And then after that, where he goes up on the weed man in the bandana, and you're like, oh no, oh no, this is bad, like 60s, like what are we doing here? What are these? Oh,
And that was the thing they showed at E3.
Yeah.
That was the most polished part. They're like, this is what we'll put on the big stage.
Yeah.
Like, and even the little things, like their freaking cutaways to like real life New York, and then an establishing shot of like a
B-roll.
bodega.
Yeah, the
and
menu
like
screen
a-
just being that postcard of the skyline.
It's
I'm
also
pretty sure
like-
they used the same shot of the same bodega at least 3 times in that
Oh,
game. The exact same
so
shot.
Fucking
Yeah.
settings menus that don't make any sense
Yeah.
with the neon.
They also like some scenes were like fully FMV and others were fully animated because it's clear like we don't have a set for this. We don't want to make a real fire,
Oh,
so
so
here's a fake
good.
one.
That's-
We'll just animate this instead.
Just staggeringly
I hear her with my
incoherent.
blood.
Oh, right, yeah.
God.
I hear
I'm
the
I'm
guy in the
so-
weed jacket just constantly getting beat up.
so happy I was here for it. I walked in at like the perfect thing. I'm so selfish with the whole thing, but it was so great.
The part where you're like in the middle of combat, like playing the game, and then like superimpose the guy holding the sneakers. I got your sneakers.
Yeah, I
all
forgot
those
about the
dissolves
sneakers.
and stuff.
The overlays are incredible.
Oh, the twist. Yeah, and okay, I want to say this because at the time of this recording,
Uh-huh.
it is Thursday. The quote unquote reveal the truth sound is out there.
It's out?
I wanna play it. I wanna
There's a
play it.
trailer for it. It's coming out.
It's
Fuck, the part
backwards,
where the game
though.
ends with a countdown timer, which is up today. If this game goes on to say some deep shit that is heartfelt and
Yeah.
I can't believe you're making fun of that game. It's
Well, then
really-
guess what?
There's
they fucked
no
up
way it
anyway.
will,
They
though.
fucked up anyway because the version they put out first is incoherent.
You're saying it's going to be this
garbage.
like Andy Kaufman ruse where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we got you.
Or like, I can't believe you're making fun. You're going to regret your words and your deeds. Of like, oh, I forgot the quiet man breathed through his skin. I'm sorry.
So good.
Jesus.
Oh, the quiet man.
Oh, the quiet man.
Yes, there we go. We figured it out.
Yeah, we did. The quiet
The quiet man.
Yeah, the quiet man.
Yes.
I'm just so happy it's
I
out
do
there.
regret.
I'm just happy you can
It's
watch that.
$15. That's
No,
not
no,
a. That's not
our stream of it. I'm happy that is out there.
well, yeah.
You going to join us for the full playthrough of The Voice?
Maybe.
I'm sick.
You-
I can't.
you
I
and me,
can't.
Dan.
You're drumming. I have to be sick. I'm sorry.
I need to take a break. We'll be right back.